edikan.
Thank you so much, Minia.
Me say we are there who expect say will be winning, but did you expect so be winning by this margin?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, because me interviews no na mamidi kan charity for. Me interviews no on the morning of the elections around 9 a.m.
Yes.
Joy FM, my sister station, reporter interview me and I'll be saying me say, would it be a victory? I'm catching and say it will be my best election ever. Me catching and say it will be a resounding victory, and I'll say victory. I'm saying no, I didn't say victory. I said a resounding victory. Because I was clear in my spirit about Nyanyamia Kanfasa election way. And we need delegates in Asia. I mean, we'll be some team now. First week of April, me starting my campaign because also we couldn't campaign in March because of parliamentary directive. No, na party na mano. And so my team was on the ground in March. Now, somehow on the buy, now it didn't look good. And Trone, a lot of falsehood had been peddled. My first week of rounds, it didn't look like I would even get 200 votes. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
But over a period of 2 weeks, call around. We had picked up that and at this point, my main celebrating my team, my team Jata, campaign team Jata. They are. I keep arguing and saying that they are the best political machinery in the whole of this country.
Wow.
Because guidance, they're able to deliver based on what you want. And say, say, okay, fine. Each branch, per se, say, we want this information. Because for me, I always say elections are not a science and an art. People don't understand. Say, I believe elections are driven by data. And see, I requested some data from them. And one more decided data no back. No, we sat down, analyzed it, and on the basis of that, when I went back on the ground, me share branch now. And you don't need to talk. You don't need to ask me a question. I knew what the issues were. I addressed those issues, and it wasn't just Kasa. The difference between Ntrone Nukre evidence adansidie. Because Ntro ye Kasa, Nukre ye Kasa, but Ntro any adansidie because I Ntro, but Nukre die ewa adansidie. And for me, it was about going back. And so this is the first time I went on a campaign trail with a projector. Oh, you did? Projector branch be projector. Me evidence of everything. Not just like addressing the issues because picture no lie, video no lie. And so when issues are raised in places of I see some judge in and you can show people evidence of what it is that has been done. Testimonies and I record the and it makes, because you see constituency no so. And we used to have 93 branches, and now we have 193. 193. Yes. Wow. And 100 new branches, and most of those 100 new branches are new executives. One more name nyama akoso constituency neda. Okay. One more year arguably new political entrants. And obi ba omo na obi twan trotchere omo it's easy to sway them. But senema kano entran de kasa. And so once kona also kasa kwa, then you are leaving them in a limbo as to choose what it is. But because you're very discerning people, no, ukona wodi wasem ko any wo nukre no ko and na wodi adansi di edi wo nukre ne chia. They're able to sit back and say, and so you could see people's faces, and from I read a lot of body language. When in the panic kasa, who frame meeting, who share meeting, no, who say, who start to say, who kasa no, who kaki joke no kran, panensre, wamuna, what's a I say, who yen but midway through your presentation, now when we say Nipano, Nima start say, by the time we know, Nanipano Pijan and Sana catch or say, Honorable. I thought wrong about you, but I'm grateful you've made me see what the truth is. and the panel no afraid the panel will trap picture or no straight or what number. I mean, who could fear none the panel sa free what that was say send you message show crying. Throw back a catcher say when me branch no 9 no na ye niwechi but after meeting no yen 6 say the tawichi nipa 3 way say we ye one to myself. You realize your message has permeated. You realize
before these meetings, no, na communication is a problem with them.
But say March, the whole of March, now my opponent air campaign.
Okay.
But based on the parliamentary directive, I couldn't campaign.
Now want to campaign.
And to many ho. And to no Ocean and our platforms, WhatsApp platforms, Nyama account platforms. So when Nyama be wo me kanya. Me to me be some say, hey, now some George no me no na. And I mean, eventually some of these things even came to mainstream media. Which is, I mean, open the car say me, I am a beneficiary of LGBT support.
Yeah.
I mean, who in their right senses will even suggest or think that? But
people believe that.
Send your packaging of constituency, you know. So why say people believed it. People believed advocacy in me Eddie Bois. LGBT for me, mom hype, and I woman finance me. I mean, all kinds of things. And see, until you sat down and broke the issues down to the people, made people realize some of the challenges we are facing because of LGBT. That we have said, we are paying a huge price for this advocacy that we are doing. And say, when there are times I had to show people emails of the kinds of challenges we are going through. And you see, in most of the new branches, the new settlement areas, they're middle class people. And so, but when you break the issue down for them, then you realize that honorable. As I'm saying it here, and so you realize that I was clearing my mind by the 3rd week of April.
So now you are
we're done with the work because we had gone back to the people with honesty, with truth. Baby, I'm a corner assembly na ebia. For example, one of the biggest challenges I had to do with visibility and connectivity. I mean, kind of connectivity. That's meeting with the new branches. Most of them were elected in September last year. Post September, most of the branches in Shire face to face. Many almost Shire during just before the constituency elections. I went round and outdoored all the candidates to them and see Shire after they were elected. Me go back but in what you say maybe 8 months or in 7 months, I had done 3 tours of the constituency. But some felt they needed to see me more.
See you more.
It being so Philly say, and there was that thing say, one says the old friend or offer. One said they be on constituency.
Elections.
But and people just bought into it. But then when I went and people raised that issue, then I raised the point to them, say at this time, Parliament is on recess. There's no committee meeting. There is no parliamentary sitting. National ne region. So your whole time now is free for the constituency. But as I won't say, Nyamia Dromo MP no or your beer region for the education national for so the education parliamentary leadership the education or somebody who more than our parliament and to sign your money now are time consuming and now your structure say the MP has constituency executives 29 of them and 28 of them are the various areas and they say who say constituency chairman and a constituency secretary about meeting he's there representing the MP. Because at that time, no, a Jumana Mudia Shannon Sansa Onion or Gusu. So I asked them, I said, Mupese Minjai, a Jumana me ye, the advocacy, send a Mutimon, Yatim Ningo in Parliament, media space, no. Minjai na, min spend it. See, Debbie, honorable, your person who tone constituency, no. I said, something has to give. But a baby, I mean, so many and so now we've decided at least every year, 4 times in the year, we'll do a tour of the constituency because I realized that is a weakness I have. Okay. And for me, I keep saying I learn from every election. I'm not perfect, and I'm striving for perfection. And so in every election, I pick lessons, I pick things that the delegates say to me, and try to get better at it. 4 years ago, I did that, and that's why when accusations came today, I had evidence to show, because 4 years ago, accusations I didn't have Adanside readily available. And if you want, I want to put together all your videos and all of those multimedia things in the course of the campaign. But we were prepared ahead of time,
based on lessons from the last election. And I'll come back and say, last election that gap near 7
votes.
7 votes. This time that gap near saying
410.
What was different this time around? A day in a ma sa gap no, because I had the same people in the contest.
Well, not exactly the same people, and you see that's why every time Obia 2019 primaries, I've seen people. I want me Dimatem or they've thrown shade at me, say, oh, on your comb, or we need a primaries pair with 7 votes, and I did it. To the glory of God, I keep saying that any other person would have lost that election, because the dynamics 2019, the dynamics were completely different. The forces at play were extremely different. So, I wouldn't have won that election. And don't forget, I was just 2 years, 2.5 years, literally in office.
In office.
So see, I'm 6.5 years in office. There's a better footprint on the ground. We've touched a lot more lives. But Debbie Amikacho and Crawford say, if you look at 2019, where I won the primaries by 7, and then a year later, by general elections, I beat the MPP with a margin of 30,000 votes.
Having taken over with a margin of 3,000.
Yeah. It should tell you, say, on the ground, be air Koso, that is materializing in the votes that you see. And see, it's like I said, it's a learning curve. My first primaries I called 2015 was not a delegate primaries. A general membership primaries. That election and it passed 16,000
and a two.
16,000.
And only the one I only ET call.
Any honorable ET men call. And see, you realize for me, 2019 was the first time I went into a constituency election, a primaries with that was delegates.
Delegates elections.
847 people. I had gone in with the mindset of 2015. They're different. A general election and a constituency delegates conference are different. And I've learned lessons from that. And so this time, going into a delegates conference, we're better prepared for it. And that's why I keep saying that for me, Monsieur Adia, I will continue to learn, and even with this election, there are huge lessons I have learned. Say Edru say nyame mame kwan na nyame kase min kobioma na me kobioma, I will do things better.
The NSA obi step into Ningo Pram constituency. Some George footprint I will be the big ones.
The biggest effect I have had is on the people. Because you see, I came into parliament with my party in opposition. And see, my first term in opposition, second term in opposition. Now, MP Ejumano, we are Mashibitini, who Shemra. Yes. But because of the challenges of our politics, MPs have become development agents as well.
94.7.
Lobbying for development is a function of two things. First, the ability of the government in power to be carrying out development. Because I don't know, ebi wo ho a na wo kosre bia wo benya. Ebi ni ho a wo sra and then I was And then secondly, it's a function of your ability to lobby.
Sure.
Good. On the and I'll break it into two. The first part, the second part, because the second part is even broken into two further parts. About ability of a Binankasa to do development now. Obi, and yes, I mean politics. No crowd when you mean him. A bind we mean to mean Sinaha and Casa Bina and Yashi. But what the two John Mahama are buying now? And now what the two President Mills are buying now, and not even President Kufuor are buying so, and now President Rawlings are buying now. This is one government where development itself, to say infrastructural development, has been at its poorest.
in Ningo Pram or across
the country.
Because we've had some NDC MPs enumerate programs, any project across in their constituencies are some of them yet to the credit of this government.
Oh, that's what I've said, sir. I haven't said, sir.
Okay.
Or my ebi.
Okay.
But I'm saying when you do a comparison, say yeah, chiche at the 100 between Nipa 275, the probability say obenye is higher.
Yeah.
Say chiche 50 among 275. What's my say?
Yeah.
And to me yeah, politics near the idea. But to me, but can say this government has not done anything. However, we share one modern born infrastructure, and it's not something that you would beat your chest about. I mean, when you look at schools, when you look at hospitals and stuff, when the government started Agenda 111. Agenda 111, no, see every district or any district
hospital.
Sure. But you see, that comes to the second part, where you have to then lobby and make sure say your contractor say bit or
deep
capacity,
pocket,
because at the end of the day, and the MPP Abino is touting Ningo Pram as their star Agenda 111 project. Oh yes,
okay,
because we didn't have a district hospital.
Okay.
And so what would be about? But if you look at it, that project is about 45% complete.
Okay.
It's one of the, in fact, it's the most complete in the whole country. But besides, all contractors were given the same amount, mobilization, 10% of the value, 1.7 million. But the same way, it's because of the contractor who lobbied to get this project. Because a big time contractor, Shaponji Palonji, see Jubilee House, no. Oh, now Tema Mpakadan Railway, no.
Okay.
Or a major company in India, and the turnover last year was $12 billion.
One company.
Yes. And the only small company.
Yeah.
They're the second largest infrastructure company in the whole of India.
Wow.
And the way a project one bet to me and the crowd on their own. And so you've seen that they've pushed a lot of their resources to just push the project. Because at the end of the day, Obi, me. And I've told President Akufo-Addo this to his face. That Oba, the commissioner of part 1 of the Mampakadan Railway, no, the catcher and say, I want him to fix the roads in Ningo Pram because the Yiri free Ningo.
Yeah.
I want him to connect electricity, and I want him to build hospitals in Ningo Pram. As I said,
Sure.
I'm not an MP who will say, I want only NDC to come. What I want is development for my people.
Yeah.
Whether you are NDC or MPP, what I want is development for my people. Because President Akufo-Addo say every time he does a project in my constituency, me vote because and they are do my me. And say on your
project. But because in the area of constituents, no. How have you used that opportunity?
I know the mamin can on yadi and year in yadi. But I have made it, and I've used this platform. I've said it on several platforms. I'll use this platform again because Obiatie Asempa.
Yes.
Yes. Say mami First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo Otia. Me tunofo as me auntie because I mean mami cousin.
Oh.
Yes. Offering me fee. Offering Kabiawe or you mean mami cousin. On mommy your first cousins. Me too no for as me auntie. Say one she na okoso how she has done for the past 6.5 years. Na ni kunu ba ni term no baby year on the 7th of January 2025. Come to me be
sir. No, but are you saying, say, as First Lady, there is no visible way away to me?
First Lady,
on where pulley
wama new Ningo bus, 55-seater bus.
For whom? Oh, New Ningo Senior High School?
No, not even the senior high school. Okay. It's being used by the town. Normally, transporting Kuala schools near there.
Okay.
A number of schools. And a 30-year-old market. One will paint, one will renovate a paint a New Ningo station. A 30-year-old market. That's all. Me say, Uba Ningoa. A kwanya ye de Ningo. Sa kwanya enfa prampramo. E wo the main Aflao road no so. E wo Chopoli.
Yeah.
Chopoli to Ningo is the ancestral road to Ningo. Sa kwanya say e 14.5 kilometer road. Me say Rebecca Akufo-Addo kan kire ne kuno. Na omo be siesie sa kwanya no. Na yemfa ntu ni din as Rebecca Akufo-Addo highway. I don't care. But let that be her legacy. Let her do something that people in Ningo Prampram will remember her. Say, oye Ningoni, and then yawa ye edia bwani maini. But if she continues following the people she's following all around in the town, now my can't say gonna assume me, she's my auntie. I want her else Obakroma. They will hoot at her.
No, but
because she has absolutely no. I'm saying she has no legacy. Phones know her.
Yes.
Her office is listening.
Yes.
Says she has done anything of note. A legacy in Ningo Pramprama. One friend, me liar.
No, but the point is, Sam, because oye uanti in the more familiar relationship, we a member of parliament for the constituency. You have an office or a letterhead any other. What's your relationship with the office of the first lady? That's the point I want to know. Would the project be a code name say okay, ufri ningo Wayne you need time if she's
working closely with the DC's office, so the DCE should help her get it. But like I said, I will continue to use these platforms to advise her. So I say 1.5 years. She has absolutely no legacy in Ningo. In the constituency and in the traditional area she comes from, Ningo, she has no legacy.
And you think that 14.5 kilometer road will be a solid legacy for her?
If she did only that, at least you had the back, I know. But as of today, so bus now, man, my bus now another 5 years. Bus the air car the air car, SAA, nakadeng. But ye quina, and I see CBB mawa. Recently, the little girl I supported to do TV3 Talented Kids, she was invited by the first lady. And Mikacho and Papa said, first lady, Mikacho said they should tell the first lady to come and build a special needs school. Because girl is a special needs child.
Okay.
Strangely, she has problems with hearing and speech. But automatic music, Emma or So build a special needs school in honor of that girl. Look, I have given several advices on what to do. But as I say, Sam George, they don't want to listen. 1.5 years,
but maybe the advice go through a proper channel. Maybe you use platforms here.
Am I supposed to be the one to even tell the first lady? Sebita Fracho, Obi, say enewo beye omampeyin, and I will hear beye omampeyin. Unyeshe maukrom. And then on dinikunu echi and kochebi.
Yes.
When hun juma yaye ochebi cemetery cry yaye asphalt ho. So at least we call Ukruma. Add the first year where some judge catcher will say, do something for the community where you come from.
If you are saying say omotenwa ne query na bibi visible ma up or ningo in her name or bafie be de amano.
And you mean make out the oba.
Apart from what you think the first lady should have done on for you as Sam George, when your tenure is over,
we're talking about my legacy. Yes. We'll come back to that. Yes. You look at human capital development, issues of education. As we speak, when I went to Ningo Prampram, where we school, certificate ben okra SS. See, SS SS certificate. So we have put over 350 children in the university.
350?
Yes.
In the university.
A BA graduate, in fact, one of them who we helped in Accra Poly, this election, was starting Ejuma, or sending me a message, and I can show it to you. Or say, Honorable, I want to support you with a widow's mind for fuel, or send him 1,000 Ghana cedis. Or BA, na oni graduate oni certificate yedin share a poly ultimate ena ono start say oye adwuma ama otome send me 1,000 Ghana cedis. I mean, I was so touched by it because it means a lot. Say that's it. You bet me kind. The message was sent on Friday.
On Friday. Also, good evening, boss. I have a token of 1,000 Ghana cedis to help you buy fuel for tomorrow. Please hope Momo would be fine. And I was like, oh, my brother, thanks so much. Oh, okay.
Because it touched me. Say, Obia, now, Okra SS, Abraham call constituency or Ayeboano, Emmanuel call A Poly. They say, I will be, or to me send it 1,000 Ghana. So you can imagine what that person is now doing for Nemami, and then the Papa will feel. And that is our legacy. Again, one of the key things we've done is a lot of people, the one call University of Education, Winneba. Because when they say at the point in time, the whole Lingo Pram there were only 2 Dangme teachers.
As in local
Dangme, yes, 2 teachers.
2 teachers, the whole constituency.
And we had more 3 teachers than Dangme. And so I decided we should push a lot more of our children to go and learn, do Bachelor of Education, Dangme.
Okay. There is a course like that.
Yes. Winneba. University of Education, Winneba.
Okay.
And I've used this platform again to make a request. We've already written to the GES to appeal to them, say, Sankofono graduate here, post them back. Because you post them to the north and to the Ashanti region, you've wasted them.
Yeah.
Post them back to the Dangme areas, because that's why we are sponsoring their education. You get it? And so education has been a critical thing for me. And whilst I tackled that at the tertiary level, I've looked at the kindergarten and decided to me call kindergarten, no, Charlie, in Kuala blocks. And at that time, my kids were in kindergarten as well in Accra. So I went to the school my kids attend in Accra and asked them, some nice plastic colored chairs. And they showed me. And we bought, and basically we've done about 80% of all the kindergartens
with staff furniture
and table. And then that's why I asked the Jata Foundation to help me build the 4 units kindergarten block.
I saw it on social media.
On the 1st of May or something, or 2nd of May. You know, and we're focused on the basis, because for me, say the basic level, no, who build the love for education now, the kids will stay in the classroom more. Because Charlie Galam said, no, I had a dream on my home.
Now, good, no, hey? Which part?
First, now we call upload, we call fishing. We journey for classroom, no call fishing. They say, no, we journey for fishing, no, call Galam say pits, no. We see they get more money from there.
Galam say pit, no, hey?
Baby, I to Galam say Western region, Ashanti region.
Like, free other places.
That's all they're running away from the classrooms and going there.
Okay.
So we need to keep them in the classrooms and make them enjoy. And apart from that, we're also doing a lot of support for vocational skills. And say, for example, Pram Vocational School, for several years, they had not been recognized by COTVET. Maybe I remember that very well. What COTVET needed was some small money to give them accreditation. I wrote a personal check for the school and made sure that right now it is the Pram Vocational School. It is under COTVET. They are able to go through the training and write and get a proper certification. So for me, education has been a critical part. I mean, the other things of social interventions about healthcare, we do all of those. I mean, we do health screenings. For example, next week Wednesday, there's a team of 70 doctors from the US.
Okay.
They've arrived. From Wednesday
at your behest?
Yes.
Okay.
Through in conjunction with the Amazing Grace Foundation, Dr. Gloria Nimo, or a Ghanaian, or a doctor, first now or a nurse, or a doctor or New York University Teaching Hospital. This is the 3rd time they are coming down to do pediatric care, maternal care, gynecological and obstetrics, and then dental care. And for 3 days they will be in Ningo and Pram simultaneously. And we do all of those little things. Security, we are teaching over 1,000 street lights just to boost security in the area. About 30 motorbikes to the police service, 2 pickups for the police, and all of that. I mean, we've done a lot of things just to make sure that the life of people are better. Farmers, fertilizer, tractor services. You know, 1 year I distributed over 6,000 bags of fertilizer for free. At the time, I buy a 50% rebate. So we paid for it and gave it out to them for free. So we've done quite a lot of work in our small way.
But I think what is the most critical need of your people? Some would say roads, because I recall community concern and maybe phone lines calls be free or constituency be and I will be sending me a video of a bridge.
That's the one.
Yeah, and it looks really terrible.
And again, like I said, the road projects are a function of the ability of government. We hear a lot about year of roads and all of that. Most of the roads that are challenged, the major roads that are challenged, contractor also. For example,
contractor also.
The name of the contractor is Simain. Overpass, from Palace, Eliko East Legon.
Yes.
He's a big time contractor. But Abayin in Tianaka, when this government came in, that road was awarded by Inus Afuseni. under the former Mahama administration, a bright MP. It was awarded as a 4-lane asphalt road. They stalled the project. You call and want to see 4 lanes. We see no problem. We have 2 lanes. At least 9 to me use it quite. I mean, the contractor came, started working funds. So he's abandoned site. Subbridge now say, I took the videos to the minister. Minister no who say, oh Sam, they be waiting here. He called the director of bridges, and so the director of bridges came to the constituency on a Saturday to come and look at it. But see, they've not been able to come and do it because even though Minister Ama approval, funding for it to be done has not been released. You understand me? So and then the problem again is that Ningo Pram, look, there are places where in 2020 election, me far on and Crawford form, a form, and their estate houses are here torn back $400,000, $500,000. They've sold almost all the farmlands, especially in the Pram area, and they become huge estates. Now they sold these lands as service plots, but they didn't do anything about the road.
Any road.
And so for Abbott's now horses here, and now the MP is the one being asked. And even when you go to the assembly, who have the engineer, and you want to get some work done, Ningo Pram is a district, not a municipality.
Yeah, still a district.
It's still a district, and it is only municipalities that have roads engineers.
Yes.
So Ningo Pram doesn't have a roads engineer. So Ningo Pram is under the Ashaman road engineer. And so when you even need anything done like demarcations and layouts and all of that, you have to call the guy from Ashaman. I just say, Ashaman now. Other agents and our these are some of the critical things that we're having to deal with and challenges. So we hope that we can become a municipality, so we have our own roads engineer, then we can begin to work better. District need own grader, because at the time now graders under Professor Mills 2010 we had not been made a district here. We're still under Dangwe West in Shai Osudoku, and the grader now Akadodoa. And so we don't have. This government has come in, has not done a retooling of assemblies. And say, who person will use it as MP cra, who person will taught diesel. Na greater than any Juma. I just say, who straight tema. And now go straight Punkatamanso. Now say, I just say, what would you see? What would the answer? You understand me? When I was candidate in 2016 and we're still in government, I had to go to NADMO and National Security to get equipment from there. And then I'm not in government. It's difficult. You go to National Security, they will give it to you, per se. But those are some of the challenges, because in 2016, I got a machine from NADMO, I got a machine from National Security, and for 14 days, they were just cutting roads. We bought diesel, they were cutting and reshaping roads. It made it more trouble. Even if you are not able to do bitumen, now to make but and then me here, I just said me short to district engineer through the DC. Now on also ultramana ebi ni ho. I just on also betro e de akokpon anatema. Now one of the bema one now I catch say only 1 day and not 2 days spend na one of the best. Can you do with it? You get it. So these are some of the real challenges that we face.
Meaning say under your tenure as MP, there is no road ebia okokoto ye na roadway enye omatimi ayewie. In the past
I have done that. Uko between Dawa,
okay.
Dawa ne Panchendo. Dawa to Mango Chonya.
Okay.
To Michael's hometown.
Okay.
It's an 18-kilometer road. Me Koya as MP na in Futro Coin, but we lobbied, we pushed for it. IB Megida na contractor na Waso no. That road has been completely done. It's been completed. In fact, the remaining stretch from Old Ningo to Mango Chonya. Again, I got approval for it, but the challenge now is money, payment. Yeah, I already contract 113 million, but once it didn't call here. Contractor now a lot of work on the road, but once it didn't call here. You understand me? New Jerusalem to Apollonia, sometime no na Amewu, Etsisa area no. And minene kasa minene ko home minister no. That road has been done. My wombs and a year quite no. So you get me. So there've been some good roads done. As we speak right now, from Pram going to Pone, there's a contractor on the road. That road has also been awarded, but cash and a problem. No? So there are few roads. There are 2 or 3 roads I have pointed out that have been completed under my tenure. Yes. So it's not as though, even though I'm very critical of government, that's the second point I was making, that lobbying does not necessarily mean that I have to sucker up to government.
Yeah.
Even though I'm critical of government, we know how to get things done out of government. And so we've gotten those roads completed. But then you still want a lot more. There's still a lot of roads that have to be done. The critical one for me is the Afenya-Dowenya Road. Afenya-Dowenya Road. That road, Semain is there. They just have to pay him.
And then a bridge in also.
Okay. And in fact, the argument, they say the road is designed to have a concrete bridge.
Okay.
And in fact, now busumbi wo nsubi baby a bridge no busum fee bi wo ya bubu busum fee no kra ama ya tia compensation to move abusum no ya the idea. All of that has been done. But now pay for the bridge to be done. There was got to move the busum by any scat that bridge.
Ekosiisen,
and then the one I may say first lady in Yeno free Chopoli to Old
Ningo. Asampa FM, so the Honorable Sam George and AD and Como in the Asher legacy in the constituency. There are still some other issues, but no ma memfa way in Chem me pacho Access Bank at the Achadian Kwa promotion about Achadian Kwa promotion. It's throughout the month of May, June, and July. Achadian Kwa throughout these 3 months. Access Bank's remittance promo is back to reward you for sending and receiving money from your loved ones. You get free airtime instantly and lot of exciting branded gift items when you send or receive 500 Ghana cedis and above through Access Africa, Western Union, MoneyGram, RIA, ZPay, Unity Link, and Express Pay. O sendi sika obi wa amano no sendi uska through any of these platforms. Nasa wonso saka wa ha through any of these platforms. Access Bank uska kwa. In the receive, branded items, airtime, many other gifts. In the receive monies directly into your Access Bank account, your mobile money wallet, or over the counter. It is free when you receive your remittances into your Access Bank account. It is send you on any big Access Bank account tomorrow, and you free. You know, until be say bia usika beda hunting the air till we be kakra debi. So tell a friend to tell another friend. The Access Bank Achadian Kwa promotion is here, and there is no limit to the gift you can receive. So you can receive. Once I send you 500 Ghana cedis and above, Access Bank chewade kwa. You need to be part of this one. Don't be left out. Visit any of our 53 branches. Access Bank branches are Ghana Bako 53 on weekdays and some selected branches on Saturdays for all your remittance transactions. Access Bank, your number one remittance bank. Access Bank, more than banking. In the moment na unso fa wo ho ehim the Achadian Kwa promotion. Massive menka enada and odo hushemu a ebetimi aboa papa ntimunsha nenso emfa emayen ma memfa wesu entwam weye Airtel Tigo na the Airtel Tigo eka and say we Airtel Tigo subscriber na say wuntimi en register o SIM card na you have to do it. I was so register with SIM card. And yes, data NC Asheno say emrene swa or SIM card no would be permanently disconnected. It will be disconnected. And that's effective 31st May. If you have some time, register with SIM card. The Airtel Tigo ayama on say omo say ombe 5 gig data free. Once you register instantly. Na unsa etumi aka. You can visit the nearest Airtel Tigo shop immediately with your Ghana card. Na register wo Airtel Tigo SIM card na bibi entimi nkoyema. One register ye betwem after 31st May 2023. Airtel Tigo life is simple. Intimoma yenyina yenhyane nso. Sound so ena Electricity Company of Ghana say ene omako cashless. The ECG wishes to inform the general public, especially our cherished customers. So with the introduction of the enhanced ECG Power app, customers are required to do cashless business with ECG anytime and anywhere. And you know, and you discover ECG office be no triama cashier be near the debit. ECG Power app ne enhance no just download ne shasi e use benefits no endorse. It allows credit top up for your smart prepayment meters. It accepts payment for mobile money wallet, Visa and MasterCard for ECG transactions. It'll help you generate bank invoice for payment. Serves as platform for reporting and resolving issues. O fault, eba, okanye dum, omita, face beer dum, my report on the app. ECG for beba, aba share edi amount. Accept payment for all invoices generated by ECG. Refunds challenged top-ups. Provide history of payment transactions and consumption information. You will say, bills are what over the period. Ubetimi enya ewo so say o consumption up so every month saying I be consuming ubetimi enya ewo ECG power app no eso. Amount notifications and alert from ECG. Very convenient, safe and secure. 24/7 ubetimi eyusu. Customers should please download the ECG power app from Google Play Store or App Store. If you have a non-smartphone, so phone in your smartphone, just dial *226# *226# to access the ECG Power app for all transactions. For assistance or further info, visit the nearest ECG office or our website at ecg.com.gh. That's a free ECG call center 0302 611 611 0302 611 611. Help ECG to serve you better. Ade here papa in the bomodin say won so de ho ebetumi ahyem. Ekosiisen na high asempa FM. Neat Confectionaries Ghana Limited. Neat cocoa drink ne say won no mu bia it's the Neat chocolate drink. Pebi ne nom 250 ml bottle no nya bia beboa 180 ml Tetra packs ne so depa made from Ghana's finest and wholesome cocoa and kwalanom impanyifo nom Neat chocolate drink. Brutal. You can need no so taste of Ghana. Be on malls, Melcom, ShopRite, Petrol Mart, Nina Obinya Biato. Fre 0244 824 216 0244 824 216. I hope I do it to her. Now, on Subomodi is Obepebi. Etimi ato. Anom. Ekosiisen Melcom say we there for you. Ja, it is open your mouth. Melcom has got you covered. Products ranging from stationery, electronics, homeware, kitchenware, furniture, home decor, electricals, groceries. They are all part to be a bonus so for Melcom. They say a Melcom shops is a BMA kese kama urawa spacious parking area, items no dorso. Under one roof, the old part to be obinya biato. Ewa Melcom. T's and C's apply. Melcom is where Ghana shops. Honorable Mamin Sayem now hope you are in this 8th Parliament. Yes.
I mean,
okay. Yeah. In the way, greetings, Honorable. Can you please help us with grader on the New Land Road? This is Augustine. Okay, New Land were here. Okay, Palms Hotel area. Was a more hotel or Palms? The Palms.
I know.
Area also be a Palm.
We New Land Mataico.
Oh, Mataico. Okay.
And so you see the problems.
Onya grader.
Grader, but grader need constituency or grader need district or. These are the challenges we are talking about.
And grader nya there. Ubetimi the MP's common fund that to be.
Chief. Hey. Common fund na yes say. My opponent a calculation of my total common fund about during the campaign 2.2 million Ghana cedis. 2.2 million Ghana cedis at the net we $200,000.
Yeah, $200,000.
And talk greater.
And that's all the common fund.
2017 I may buy. You get it. So it's just and we call renting greater as a day is almost 10,000.
Yeah.
Before you buy diesel and
diesel
all so those are the real challenges that we face.
Yeah, I get
but
you.
District Ninyani there, it's easy to go toward diesel.
You fuel it now. One thing is saying this 8th Parliament, define this Parliament is the private members bill only with colleagues sponsor currently. It was stage based consideration stage.
Yes, about for second reading.
About for second reading for now. Okay.
We're done with the consideration at the committee clause by clause, and this is about floor no for clause by clause consideration.
Do you think, sir, election we are now the LGBT lobby no more interest for election we more?
Oh, absolutely.
You think so?
I know so. I know so.
And what was the interest? No more interest here then? To see you lose.
We use some judge for her. I know. I'm enemy number one. I'm public enemy number one.
Because you were the face of the advocacy.
Cartoons now, I'm release me losing idea.
Oh, who was that information in?
Oh yeah. I said guy be out or to on some UK station be. Wow,
yeah. I remember.
Why Numa and I'll release the trolley me. That's how prepared they were for they were sure that I was going to lose the elections. But
do you believe the narrative said they somehow tried to influence this election? Support.
I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact.
Through support to opponent,
absolutely.
That narrative is true?
Yes, it is.
As far as you are concerned?
Yes, it is. It is. And that's why I called on the religious bodies to also show their hands. In their case, they didn't give resources.
Yeah.
But what they gave was prayer. And what they gave was endorsement of us. And so Becca said a coalition led by Fuamwini.
Yes.
That coalition is made up of the Christian Council, the National Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, the National Association of Charismatic Churches, Catholic Bishops Conference, the Apostolic Fathers, the Office of the Chief Imam, Ahmadiyya Movement, Coalition of Muslim Groups, Advocate for Christ. Yes.
Throw support behind endorse.
Yes. And you see, Obi, Mami for platform way na menda Ghana for us. Because election way, although Ghana for because you see, it is mind-boggling the number of people who fasted and prayed on their own just for this. It is shocking. Salaka on our own just to make sure that some joy. Imam Quran. Prayer chains are almost set up prayer chains. Sorry, some churches held a whole fasting and prayer for a week for some election way.
Oh, it went that far.
And that's why I kept saying it was a battle between light and darkness. I kept saying that this election, it wasn't about Sam George. But it was deeper. You know, the heads of churches, senior heads of churches, I'm far phone a frame, a bumpire mommy, a shaman crying, encouraging me to go ahead, that they were standing with me. Obi, and look, I have seen videos from Tamale of the celebration when the announcement was made. Says Sam George are winning. At that time, no, not candidates in Sujina ho, MPs in Sujina ho, MPs no LED. Delegates to celebrate the victory in
the victory of Sam George,
not their own,
rather than a Momo victory.
That's how important this was. Minya Mutala at 2 p.m. Mutala Mohammed 2 p.m. of Frame with the constituency chairman and vice chairman. Besame say, how is my election going? Abra election is also what the
yeah, tone as well.
Man, the constituency vice chairman bompire mama catch him say, I should make sure say because they are all waiting for my victory. On the same day, they were having their own elections. So this was not about Sam George. This was bigger than Sam George. You know, my sister Lydia, and is it Tempani?
Yeah,
she went unopposed. But whilst they were having their congress, now almost every hour now for Bisamase. I mean, it meant so much to so many people.
Now, the Catholic, the religious heads in our country, so some of these big churches, Apostolic Church in Pennyfor,
Church of Pentecost,
Wawa Sorry, Parish Chapel,
Royal House.
Yes, you mean all these
Bishop Titi of
all these big pastors reached out to you,
Chief. You phone encouraging messages on the Friday night
before the election,
voice note messages. You know, a big crowd were outside the country, time zone. At the time, now I'm messaging me. We say, anajo midnight. I'm messaging me, shaman crying, catch him say, look, we are praying and standing with you. And so this was not about me. This was about God. This was about the country. And you see, it's made me realize, Ghana for recognize when they want to recognize and support you. Onya, look, there were delegates who said to me, Honorable, my name opinion way, our MPP mu, or ye constituency executive, and now ye party nipa, our MPP mu, but my name no as ejuma, but frame me, I'm warning. Say LGBT anti-LGBTQ bill nente. Me ye NDC ni on him say me ye delegate won go pam wa me warning. Say man hwe ye na makoto etia wo na onho a na manwani a juma wo de bedi me. Some work for, if I one of the delegates works in a senior MPP person's company.
Okay.
Also nipa ka just obey need. And nipa ka just op picture of the vote say what to mame.
Wow.
Because look, the support for this bill is not just NDC. There are senior people, there are people in the office of the president who picked the phone and called me and prayed for me.
Office of the president?
Yes. Because what we are talking and what we are fighting about, and your political law, and look, like I keep saying, this one, I will show you some of the things. You don't need to mention names.
Sure.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM 94.7.
Now, Ushe message now down here.
Yeah. Congratulations, Honorable. I thank God for your victory. We would always pray for you. Wow.
When the power sending me a message.
Yeah.
And there are several more of this. You know. So it is. Look.
But what this means, they say now, because of the trust, we'll start with because we are almost like a national support in this election. It means everything you and your colleagues will do to push this bill through, you would have to do it now.
Obi, with great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man, Batman, I can Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because I'm asking myself, I can't fail the millions of Ghanaians in Ghana and outside who prayed, who supported, who called. You be insure 100 packets. Every you see Ningoni be or Ohio. And I was one man is come and Ninua constituency was say now this support. I mean, people did things to make this election happen, and I owe it to every single one of them. And so, for me, I can make only one pledge and one commitment that I will not rest until this bill is passed, and not just this bill, but I would not rest to continue to be a voice for the ordinary Ghanaian, because I realize people appreciate the fact that we stand up and speak for the ordinary Ghanaian in a lot of because my advocacy has gone beyond. It's not just the LGBTQ, be it SIM registration, be it closure of radio stations, and a number of other things. Brutalities against citizens from media men and citizens from security services. We would continue to speak, and whether it is the NDC, and I'm confident the NDC will win in 2025 by God's grace. Under the next Mahama administration, I will remain a very critical voice. And everybody should prepare for it. Because we need to have a certain cadre of critical voices that act as checks and balances on us, as
even on their own party.
Absolutely, it is the only way you can keep your party on track. You understand me? Because he who you love, the Bible says, he who the Lord loves, he chastises. You understand me? And say, because say one penny ya, say cry won't but what can I yet to me see? And so for me, it's about this country, because Obi, we have only one country. And so for me, I have come to that place where I've told myself that Sam, you will do your politics, but your politics must always carry the country along. And that for me it's a big lesson I've learned. I told you I learned lessons from every election. You know, and it's a big lesson I've learned from here. And you know, there are those who say, oh, but Sam George said he puts the NDC above Ghana. But I've always said, say, political parties are vehicles that we use to steer the affairs of the state. So I don't see the day the NDC decides that it's going to take a corporate decision against the interest of the country. It seems to be a party worth supporting. So if I support the NDC, it is because what the NDC is championing is for the betterment of the country.
Interest of the country.
You can't segregate both. You understand me? And so for me, and that's why for me, I would continue to be critical. If you listen to some of my interviews post these elections, I did PM Express and all. I've been calling on the party to take certain measures. For example, working on internal discipline. Because you see, we need to have discipline as a party.
Where discipline means what? Discipline says
within the party. That's a party. And I said multimedia. You, if I'm not mistaken, you have over 300 staff or 700 staff.
Kumasi included.
Fantastic. Just multimedia, 700 staff. Don't you take disciplinary measure?
Sure, we do.
Then imagine the NDC that had over 6 million votes and has over 4 million registered members. You need to have discipline in the party. If you don't instill discipline in the party, everybody becomes law and God unto himself. So it's important that we instill discipline. And for me, I have always held the view, say me bra penyin Swaga na Abba Studio says here. Say Swaga ye adia enya. We shouldn't say he's a former MPNT.
Intiminka.
Yeah, sa. Say branch chairman be. Ewo me constituency koya the same thing. I bet me akasa name. So don't tell me somebody is an elder of the party and now he was there in 79 or 1 year. Let us have discipline. When the party is disciplined, we will win power in a heartbeat like this.
But you don't.
And it would help us. It would help us to govern the country better.
You don't see the current national executives doing that?
No, that's why I'm calling on them, because I trust them.
Okay.
Because Obia Oye, your chairman, and Johnson Asidunketia, when he was general secretary, and you don't know Pamo Alote Jacobs ni Koka Hero. He took that decision. And I trust the strength of Asedu Nketia when it comes to taking tough decisions. I have seen him stick his neck out when even the majority are not in favor of it. Or see, this is the way to go. It is the one you trust that you call on. Say, Obina, if I don't trust you to do something, why will I call on you to do it? I've sat in Parliament. I met Fifi Kwete in Parliament. I know the strength of character that Fifi has. And that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm making this call now. As I say, Nipa Oye national chairman and Nipa Oye general secretary. These two people, if they say they will instill discipline in the NDC, nobody can stand in their way.
Have you seen traits of indiscipline? Beer, Ubitma highlights the way you're munche.
And it's an internal party issue. I've raised those issues with them.
By a BB or man swanu ebe hardring.
Oh yes, it's important that the party has discipline. Any party that doesn't have discipline cannot win power. No, you can't win power if you don't have discipline. And look at the NDC in 2005, 2006 after the breakaway from the NDC. What was left? Wayo and Co brought discipline into the party. The party was focused. There was tunnel vision. Everybody was singing from the same hymn book.
And you won 2008.
Yes, but when there is no discipline and there is discordant views, everybody is low to themselves. You can't create the synergy you need to win power. We have 16 months or 18 months to the general election. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to Ghana. We owe it to John Mahama to unite this party and be disciplined. An electoral machine that wins is a disciplined one.
Yeah.
And so when we do all the campaigning and talk about everything, the base of it is discipline. Discipline puts everybody in line, such that when the leader, our new leader, John Dramani Mahama, who is now leader of the party, Oma direction, Obi an sorry wo ne krasi and ne constituency counter instruction. Dabi. Everybody is on the same page. We fall in line and go behind the leader. But when you have pockets of centers of power we be a candidate. Interest and lead at the matching order. Now Obi or say left hand now be tenny right. No. Yeah. We can't run a party like that.
And so far, that is what you see now.
I haven't said that's what I'm seeing now. I'm calling. Be careful. Be careful. You don't want me to open fire on you. I have not said anywhere that's what I'm seeing now. I asked
a question.
And I'm saying, sir, I am calling on our leadership because I trust in their abilities
to ensure
that discipline. Because the core ingredient for our victory
discipline.
Is discipline.
If
the party is disciplined, Obi,
you can win the elections.
Look, I keep saying, it's a Usa Ghana for line 33 million Ghanaians, and now for 18 million voters. Now some line 10. Now see NDC to the right, MPP to the left, NDC for doors, say MPP for.
You sure about that?
The doors will say one more. But it is discipline that will help you to get all of your people.
Of them to fall behind
Absolutely.
you. My final question to you, Sam, would be, sir, earlier you made a point, sir, through this advocacy, people don't know the sacrifices you've had to make, and some of the losses are when you're personally. Do you mind to share, Emobi?
Oh, I'll write a book after, and I'll chronicle, and especially when we are done. But I mean, and it's not just me.
It's colleagues,
you've forgotten. I can make reference to some because they are already public. Yeah. Suhini was rejected a visa to Holland.
Yeah, Mekai.
And the reason for rejection was that he lacked social ties to Ghana. A member of parliament, sitting member of parliament, lacks social ties. And so on that particular matter, I had to tweet at the Dutch ambassador and tell him that I was also going to make a list of all Dutch businesses in Ghana and call for a boycott of all Dutch businesses. Then he came back and said, and made for me what was the most silly excuse ever, that it was an administrative error. Then I sent back a tweet to him and said, that even shows how poor he is at being an ambassador. If an application of a diplomatic passport holder coming from the office of the Speaker of Parliament for an official trip can be subject to an administrative error, what is happening to several other ordinary Ghanaians who are paying so much and you are rejecting them visas? Are we to assume that there's so much administrative error there? The next day they granted him the visa.
Wow.
I went to do a program in LSE, for example. I needed a student account. The university gave me a letter.
Yeah.
The bank refused to open an account for me.
In the UK?
Yes. As we speak now, I can't change $1 anywhere in the world.
Really?
Yes. They've put me on a money laundering list. They claim I'm laundering money for evangelical conservatives in the US. So I can't change, not anywhere. And I've done some travels in the UK and Dubai. I can't change because when I say who got change here, you better swipe your passport. Yes, swipe your passport now. Now when we say
Sam George.
Now when we say cashier, then they hand your passport back to you and they're like as though we, and they're like, no, we can't change for you. Sorry.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
In the Utukaya, what do you do?
Masa, you have to find the currency of the country. I'm going. Who need be a udruwa. I just oko pega na nibi na obobe panicho na onko sesama na bibi, or you use your bank card. I can't travel with money. You travel and you get pulled out. Even when I travel my diplomatic passport, you get pulled out of the line. You think that maybe they want to give you a special service because you've seen the diplomatic passport. They put you in a room for 2 hours. You just leave you sitting there.
Since advocates were
yes. Pull you out, leave you sitting there for 2 hours. Embarrass you because then you've gotten off a plane with Ghanaians and people see security people come and surround you and walk you into a room, set your bags and all of that, just to harass you.
Now,
but you see those things, they don't know me well. Those things, they give me hunger to pass this bill. It is those things that spur me on, because the more you try to break me, the harder I'll come at you.
And you've not gotten to a point where I say, Charlie, is this worth it? Why don't I forget this? And
Obi, it is like we say in our faith. I've put my hands to the plow. There's no turning back. I've crossed the Rubicon. I've bent that bridge. I can't go back. And that's why for me, recently, the shenanigans now, Attorney General, I said to him that, look, you better be careful. I can understand why the Attorney General made those comments last week. He made those comments 48 hours before the government went to the IMF, went for the board level. So he was posturing. Because for the Attorney General to say in an interview with your sister station Joy that there are financial considerations in our bill.
Or say the bill in its current form, if it's passed, the president might not assent to
it. The Attorney General was not being truthful. He was being dishonest.
Oh, so.
Because the Attorney General said to Parliament on record at the committee level that the bill in its current form is fit for purpose and does not impose a financial charge.
At the committee level,
me be a direct question. Miss Sam George, me be a direct question. Me see, Honorable Godfrey Dami, I want to hear from you for the records. Is our bill, after we have gone through clause by clause, because ni report.
Yeah.
In his report, he had stated that there were financial considerations. But by the time he came before us, we had done a lot of work on the bill. And he running it through, and I'm say, I want to find out from you, does this bill have any challenges or are you comfortable with it? And the chairman of the committee, were overruling me question. Because I was putting the Attorney General on the spot. And the Attorney General sought leave of the chairman and said he wants to answer. And said, Sam, quote me anywhere in the media that I said your bill is good. And in fact, even went ahead to tell me, say, I should quote him as saying, say, he supports the bill.
Godfrey Dami.
Put Godfrey Dami on the line today. Call him right now and let him deny that he said to me that I should quote him as saying that he supports the bill in its current shape and form and that it is fit for purpose. In fact, before the committee, he said several things about how this bill expands the frontiers of our marriage. In fact, when it comes to the Marriage Act, he said that, look, as far as it's concerned, in fact, Section 104 of the Criminal Offences Act, Godfrey Dami said he thought that as it stands today on our books is discriminatory.
Yeah.
And that this bill takes away the discrimination because Section 104 talks about slightest level of penetration. And he holds the view, said lesbians cannot do penetration.
Yeah.
And so our bill evens out
corrects
that. He went ahead to cite the Children's Act and say when we say you cannot adopt or foster children, there have been amendments to the Children's Act, even in that. So we are strengthening the Children's Act. When we say we're voiding marriages, he said it is right because the Marriage Act recognizes marriage as a union between a man and a woman. Our bill takes it further to say a union between a man and woman whose sex was determined biologically at birth. He was in favor of all of that. And I said, Godfrey Dami said to me that I should quote him anywhere that he supports the bill. So why is he now saying that if the bill went to the president could not sign that there are constitutional challenges? If the government was going for an IMF program 2 days later, he should have been minded about his comments and that's what I'm saying. He will be part of the debate and I will put it to him on the floor and bring the records from the committee because committee records are part of the records of the House.
Okay.
So our Attorney General must let us know what his stance is. He should stop flip-flopping. If they were going to the IMF and they needed approval, that's fine. We understand it. We need to save our economy. It's fine. Go. But don't come and flip-flop and try and paint a picture that there is a problem with the bill. After you yourself have said you support it. After you yourself have given it a clean bill of health. Go and take the committee's report. The committee's report that was laid on the Thursday before Parliament rose on the 30th of March includes the Attorney General's approval.
Of the...
There is a paragraph that speaks about the Attorney General saying that he's comfortable with the bill.
As it stands
now. So what is he talking about?
Okay.
It is such hypocrisy that gets me worked up.
Yeah, but
because your yes must be yes, your no must be no. We understand that yes, you had to go to the IMF. But did you by all means have to create a problem for the bill?
Very well. I mean, you are even much more resolved now to see this through, despite all the personal costs to you.
Sure.
And Adinina. But we say, Obi, do you recall any other alternative, knowledgeable voice on the communication subsector on the many issues that have come up in that sector aside Sam George? We sure can give it to him on that, right? Samson Ladi Anyanini. And
anyway, Samson. I'm grateful.
Yeah,
I'm grateful.
Yeah. And the Titus Glover and so say, hi Obi, I'm enjoying Sam George's discussion with you. I call him the spear.
Yes. You see, I told you they were senior. Titus prayed for me.
Oh.
I can show you because he sent a message.
Yeah.
I can mention his name. He prayed for me to have victory. He called me and encouraged me because of the LGBTQ bill. And that's why he sent you a message. He says, as far as he's concerned, on this matter, I am the spear and the whole country must back it.
Sam George, we wish you very well.
I'm grateful.
I'm hoping you go through the rest of your tenure, because you are still MP for Ningo Pram Pram. The rest of your tenure.
1 year, 7 months.
And then in 2024, we'll see what happens.
The Lord will see us through.
Of course.
Definitely.
What's our target here? To open a 50,000 gap?
No, to get 100,000 votes for the NDC.
Ningo Pram Pram.
Yes.
Now, registered voters, yes,
99,000.
And so, how do you get 100,000?
That's a very limited registration.
Oh, okay.
Very limited registration. For me, I ran under a certain grace of double portion. In 2016, I got 26,000.
Yeah.
In 2020, we got maybe 50,000.
Okay.
The gap was 10,000 in 2016. It's 30,000.
Yeah.
So from 50,000, we are going to 100,000. That grace will see us through.
Wow.
And once again, let me just say a very big thank you to the delegates of Ningo Pram Pram for their honesty and candor. And I don't take for granted the mandate that they have given to me. And I just want to say a very big thank you to them. I will not let them down. I would work even harder than I have ever worked to ensure that this trust that not just the people of Ningo Pram Pram, but the people of Ghana have reposed in me, and the support that we enjoy, it is not wasted.
But when him said the Asen North MP's name is being expunged from the records of Parliament,
it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I heard it today. It's most unfortunate, and I think that this is a bill that. There's a bill that I think
private members bill
that we need to
amending
look at, because you see, Obi, I ask myself the hypocrisy of our system, and quickly here, we are taking an MP out because administrative processes
a delay
even during COVID. He had taken all steps within his control. But you see, process name at the time he filed, not at the time he contested. But we are also comfortable as a country to have approved a minister who says to us that portions of his engagement with security services of a foreign nation are things he will not speak on camera. The Minister for Agric. During the vetting of Brian Champo, questions were asked of him of his engagement with the US military. He said it is privileged information that we, the taxpayers who are paying him, do not have rights to know. He was working with a security service of a foreign nation. Our laws find it fit that he should be a minister of state today. But we say someone who was just a citizen and took the steps to renounce his citizenship is unfit to be an MP. Our laws are upside down. Something is wrong with our system.
Thank you, Sam George. And the attending can Ekosiisen higher Senpai FM make us say